Thank you so much for being here,
Well,
Sabine.
thank you for having me. I mean, the turns is kind of true. I actually used to call myself Dr. Pivot because of the love of the actual pivot. The problem was it's just one of those label problems, right? Because I actually am a physician on the side. I can't call myself Dr. Pivot because I'm a doctor. It's weird. You can't be the one that you label yourself as unless you want to get taken into a particular
Mm.
system, which happens to be the medical system, in which I am not really at all in this space at all or in life. And the pivots are really because my love of ballroom dance and I love pivots. And I think that pivots in general are the spice of life.
Yeah. I wish I remind myself of that more whenever an unexpected and unwanted pivot happens, because it's those that we need to remind ourselves that life is not according to plan, and sometimes those pivots are actually, most of the time those pivots lead you to where you need to be. Um
100%. And I think the trick with the pivots that I have ignored, overlooked, not known for a long time, and that I actually kind of work with people on this. It's like the first step of the pivot, which sounds crazily simplified, is you actually have to be where you are.
It's interesting that she distinguished herself as not a physician, because Hind, in fact, is a medical doctor
Yeah, I said, don't hold
Yeah.
that against
sometimes.
me, right? Don't hold me. See, this is the thing with the
Oh, no,
labels.
it's the breadth of perspective, I think, that makes this an even better conversation. That's what I was trying to point out.
Yeah, and I appreciate that. It's been one of those. See, all these labels. This is for me. It's all
Yeah.
about the labels that become our prisons, right?
And that
Mhm.
brings me back to sociology. And deviance was one of my favorite classes in sociology. And the dedication quote says, "Thank you to those who remind us that the zest of life lies near the margins." And that reminded me of what you said just a moment ago.
Yeah, I love that. I
Wow.
love that. The zest of life lies near the margins. Love that. It's so true, right? It's kind of like I always kind of looked at it as being on the fulcrum, right? Riding the top of the wave, being able to navigate, but not
Mm.
being off one. Nothing, no matter what, is ever gained on a side if one identifies with it, meaning you are that thing. And it's kind of like, how do you unidentify? That's another thing. But I've kind of really learned that if I'm labeled as something, I become this thing. And then what happens? You get sort of, you have a confirmation bias. You just see the stuff that
Mm.
goes
Everywhere.
a label, then you don't even are able to think anything else. Then you don't even meet other people anymore. No, you actually do, but you don't recognize them anymore. And
Mm.
your view gets more and more narrow until you completely believe that all these other things don't even exist. And that's a big prison, right? And that's where the neurodivergent folks have a real gift because we tend to not we tend to recognize these kind of things. And it's like, okay, that's just not where things
Yeah.
are. So I always kind of feel really bad for linear thinkers who, when you tell them one thing, they're seeing this one thing. And that's all they do. And then they do this, and then they do this, and then they do this. And I love those folks who can do this. My accountant, love him because he can do this, this, this. Couldn't be me. I get all my stuff. It's all in a big box. I've never done my taxes. Now, I've always had them done, but I could never, it's too much stuff here. I give him the box.
Mm.
He does it. Thank you for accountants. It's not going to be me ever.
Mhm.
Right? So the thing about these labels is like, oh, you be very, very careful what label you put on yourself and how you relate to the label, right?
Yeah.
That's why I love neurodivergent as a label instead of ADHD or autistic or bipolar or whatever. Because for like, I don't know, something like 20 years, I was chasing the correct diagnosis. And I never found someone who could give me like a definitive answer. So
Mm.
what I'm going with is hysterical woman. No, neurodivergent is great because it's just a different brain.
Yes.
If you think about etymology and the meaning, the true meaning of words. Um, yeah, anyway.
The way
Two
I see,
brains
and I love,
diverge in the woods.
yeah, and I love it because it means basically there are more options, right? As far as
Yeah.
there are just simply more options.
And a bigger community,
Yes,
more inclusive, more perspectives.
correct. One and
Beautiful. So, who even are you? Why are we talking
Let's
to
start that. Yeah, let's start.
Let's dial it back. So, gosh, Sabine Laughlin?
okay.
Laughlin?
Yes,
Oh,
we have a good,
I got myself ready for it.
good for you. Good for you. It's a tricky name. Yes,
I'd love to hear you say it.
O'Laughlin, technically, but I'm actually German. So, truth be told, this is a borrowed name from the Irish language. So I'd say,
Did you have an Irish ancestor or?
no, my ex-husband, and I kept
Oh,
the name because I like the name.
sure.
And I like the confusion that it provides when people look at my first name and then I look at the last name and they can't classify me. And I love that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's
Right,
kind
Yeah.
of
because why
like,
do you, yeah, why do they need to understand your cultural identity? Um, why is
yeah,
that like an instinctive thing that we do as humans? So interesting.
yeah, and I actually love that when people get interested. I actually really love
Yes.
that. I'm like, okay, I do want you to know, but I don't want you to classify me.
Mm,
It's like what Kierkegaard said: if you label me, you negate me. Right?
mm.
I am that and I am more. I'm not just that.
Mm-hmm.
So
We
this,
contain multitudes.
you got it, right? So
Mhm.
it's kind of like, okay, so with this little name thing, which I hadn't actually ever thought about until you just now asked me, I said, I kind of like the confusion that it provides.
Mm-hmm. I love that.
um,
So, yeah, obviously, your family of origin is of interest to us. But before we get into all of that, I'm just curious what you are doing in the world right now, for work or whatever.
Right now, I am a pathologist. I have been a pathologist for over 30 some years, and I am still working full time as a pathologist. And then I'm also a life coach because I got very interested in the interplay between death and life. The more I studied death, the more I got curious about life. So at the same time, I got interested in life and life coaching. And, the more I sort of had to look at my own past as a woman and then menopause and things, all of a sudden, some things change
Mhm.
without your permission,
Rude.
very. And all of a sudden, the energy, which already was a problem, which I didn't even know because I ate a lot of sugar to bypass the problem.
Mm.
Uh, the sugar was sort of my big addiction. But then menopause took the last piece out, and I said,
It
okay, well,
was no longer enough to compensate.
no. And that really didn't sit well with my identity, things I thought I was, who I was, and how to go about life. And then as a mom with kids, and
Mm.
that, and being in a field of, okay, now wait a minute, there don't seem to be actually a lot of answers for what's going on here, how to really do it. I get a lot of what I would call AI generated downloadable PDFs, things that one size fits nobody kind of advice that might be okay for a while, but don't really work. They don't really work. They go for a little bit. If you use it, then you don't use it, then it stops. It was never. There was nothing ever in this thing that
W-
actually helped me
mhm.
navigate my own life.
Social research shows that any change will create a short-term improvement
Mhm.
because someone is focusing on a thing. You're putting intention on a goal. Of course, you're going to see progress towards or even away from that goal. But yeah,
Yeah, and then there's this
sorry.
novelty piece, right? Like I'm a sucker
Yeah.
for novelty.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, this is new.
I
Oh,
want to do good. I want to be
yeah,
an A+ student.
yeah, or whatever. It's just the novelty of, oh, this maybe this will save me. Maybe this is the thing. Maybe this is the
Mhm.
one, and whatever. And then you realize, oh no, at a certain point, you need to use other things, steadfastness, and other things that need to go in there that they're not that interesting. They seem fairly boring. They seem like they need energy. They need all this. I'm like, then I lose
Mhm.
interest. This thing
Stretch every
fizzles.
day.
Yeah. And then it's what I call the crazy age, like this infinity sign. The pain is high enough for you to start something new, get some interest. So you go do it, you do it, do it. And like, okay, so the pain is less. So the interest is less. All of a sudden you're like, oh, this is good enough.
Mm.
Then you stop doing it, you make some exceptions or whatever it is, then it kind of goes back down. Well, at some point, the pain comes back. You're like, oh, darn, I got to go do something. But this other
Yeah.
thing
Mhm.
didn't really work. Try another thing. Oh, I see this guy. Or this worked for them. Then you try that. I mean, I have tried everything under the sun, at least once, it seems. Nothing
Yeah.
actually really did it. It's not really the tools themselves, right?
In addition to an energy depletion, what other symptoms were you experiencing that didn't weren't fixed by the strategies that were suggested to you?
Well, I tell you one thing. The one thing I never knew is that I had
What suffering continued?
suffering. I tell
Mhm.
you what, I had no idea how long things take. Complete time blindness. And when people would ask you to do certain time management things, I'd just sort of freak out because I felt like this massive pressure. Oh, I couldn't tell you how
Oh
long
my
things
God.
take. I do not want to keep a journal. I do not. If you're telling me I eat something and then write this thing down, there's just like too many steps. I can't write stuff down. I'm already stressed thinking
That
about it.
sounds like overwhelm.
Complete. But I didn't think I had it. The thing was, I, on the outside, looked like, man, she has it all together. Well, I had systems. I ran my life like an OR board. I had literally a thing up in my kitchen that had everything on it that we never missed any appointments because they were on there. And then there was another board here. This was for the
And
month.
this was
Yeah,
like
we
pre-Google Calendar.
all that been going on forever. I put paper things on there, whatever it was, and I didn't know
Amazing.
at the time, I didn't know I even had ADHD or any such thing. It just
Right.
Right.
seemed like, okay, I noticed that my parents were doing something like this. They always had a calendar. So I grew up with it.
Mhm.
Then I got into being a pathologist, which is all about systems.
Mm.
So my profession just came with the systems
Gave you the
and then
structure.
gave me the structure. And so while
Mm.
I'm at work, while taking this home, it doesn't feel like I have this problem. But if I'm not in these structures, I had no idea. Somebody said, "Well, how long will it take?" Oh, everything. It'll just take me 5 minutes. 2 days
Mm.
later, I'm still doing this if I'm there, right? Yeah.
I hear that from software engineers, all kinds of programmers. That's interesting. I wonder, gosh, my brain just cleared out on me, but that's okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it is actually a real. What the problem is with this situation, and what led to me is I overcommit and underdeliver. Right? Now, I thought because I like studying different systems and all this kind of stuff, which is part of the beauty and part of the problem, I thought this was the problem that any of 7 types have. We tend to just kind of look at the positives to whatever the future and ignore all the other stuff. And so it's kind of like, okay. And then I, at some point, did this one too many times. Overcommit, always say yes. Well, that sounds like fun. Sure, let's do this. Yeah, it'll only take 5 minutes. It'll take 5 minutes, 5 minutes. Next thing, I have all these things on there. And for a while, I tried to do them all. But the price I pay for this is I had to get some kind of energy to even attempt this kind of stuff. And the
Mm.
way I did it was eating a lot of sugar. So I used to weigh like 300 pounds because I ate a ton of sugar. It was absurd because I thought would give me the energy. And it did for a while, but it's the dirty energy, right? It doesn't.
I can't even imagine someone of your size.
Oh, I tell you what, you can go to my website and I have a picture on it. And it reminds me every time I look at this picture, I'm thinking, yeah, ouch, man, ouch, ouch.
Cause and I don't wanna come off as, like, body shaming or anything.
No.
I think it's just I mean, because 'cause I've always been, like, this size, but it's because I have a disease about it. So, anyway, but, it just shows that it wasn't, like, a genetic predisposition necessarily, like, you weren't, like, born to be this size, but, like, I don't know, our will, our emotions have a say in our behavior? I
Well,
don't know. I don't
I
know what I'm getting at.
yeah, I think I know what you're saying. I think that some of it comes probably from our families, but maybe not in the way that we think. It's not a genetic,
Mm,
it's not in the DNA, but it is epigenetic, meaning, we can inherit the way our family thinks, the mannerism, and all these kind of things. Yeah, and I think because I mean, being from Germany has its own unpleasant history, right? And
yes.
my
I
parents.
love how we've segued naturally.
Yeah, that's my parents were in the war, their parents were in the war, everybody was in the war. And so they came out of this war, and the only thing they had was this sugar, access to sugar. And so
Mm,
they ran on sugar, and that's how they had this resilience, right? And their courage and everything. And they used this because that's the only thing they had. So they made this the big thing. Of course, then when I'm born, we don't actually have a war, but I inherited this love for it. And I remember my parents fondly in eating a lot of sugar.
Mm,
Now, it also happens to help the brain if you have ADHD. But I didn't know that then.
yeah. Speaking of Germany, you grew up in Germany, but you moved to the US at 27, and you you originally
yeah.
wanted to have a career in music, but you went to pathology. Can you tell us a little bit about that? Because I think people tend to think that there are two different people in STEM and people
Dr.
in
Pivot.
the humanities. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And people are in the humanities and the arts, and there's no way these two can connect. I'm someone who appreciates the arts, even though I'm a doctor, and I feel I'm somewhere in between. And I'm really interested in seeing how you managed to combine those two worlds, and how did you manage to make it work?
Yeah, I think that I'm always drawn to the performing arts. It's always been a absolute love of mine. I went
Mm.
to a music school where, as part of the curriculum and as part of belonging to the class, you had to play at least three instruments, right? So it was a music school.
What were your instruments?
I played the piano, the violin, to the detriment of my cat, even though I wasn't that bad, but for the cat, it was bad. It was bad. It's really bad. And the clarinet. So,
Wow.
we were part of this, and I love it. And I loved it. We had a class orchestra. The whole thing was just really cool. But
Amazing.
I tell you what, with that, so there were two things. One was in the biology class, I hated it. I hated looking at cells. It was uninteresting, not inspiring. Probably also the teacher was probably not very inspiring, but I also kind of thought, man, who wants to look at cells? And
Yeah.
then what do I do now? I look at
Yeah.
cells. It's a it's a kind of a
I
funny.
actually don't really know what a pathologist does.
Okay, a pathologist is basically a lab doctor, right? So if say you have something and you have to go to the operating room, somebody takes some tissue out of you, whatever it
Sure.
is. tumor, appendix, gallbladder, skin things, brain tumor, toenails, anything that needs to be examined. That's what I do. So they
Oh
send
my
it to
gosh.
me, and I mince it, cut it,
Please,
run it.
no one do not send her anything. This is her
Yeah, yeah.
job.
Well, I do love doing it, and I do tell you what, because there's art and pathology, right? It's like pattern
Mm.
recognition, which I'm very pattern recognition, hello, right? You look at things,
Huh.
tumors are actually beautiful. You look at them on the glass slide, you're like, "Oh, this looks like this, this, this." So you try to classify them and see in the big and it's very I mean, I love that part.
We need to talk about you being late
Uh,
diagnosed. How did that happen?
When did that happen? Better question.
Yeah.
okay, so,
What
um,
stage of your life?
I probably a year ago.
Okay,
And
Oh.
awesome.
I had no idea. Whatever thing was going on, I thought it was always just a German thing. Then one of my
What makes you
kids,
say that? A German thing. Neither of us are really familiar with
yeah,
German
well, it was
culture.
a history because it seemed like my entire family was like this.
Mhm.
Mm.
So if
Yeah,
my family is like this and my family is German, then it must be a German thing.
sure.
I never gave it any more thought because I was really uninformed and didn't know. And the diagnosis of the label of ADHD that I had in my mind, which was young boys jumping around, being up here all the time, whatever,
Yep.
that did not seem to fit with
Mm.
how
Mhm.
that just was, okay, I wasn't that. I didn't pursue that any further. Then one of my kids got diagnosed properly and they were like, uh, I don't think so. And we even talked about it briefly. I'm like, I don't think so, man. I mean, that's just like, meh. So we bypassed this. Then,
Isn't everybody like that? That's what my mom said.
yeah, it's like everybody
It's
has
like,
it. And I'm
"No,
thinking,
mom."
right. But then somebody else asked me the question. And I had this pivotal moment when I realized, okay, maybe something was a little bit off here, which was this time blindness thing that really
Yeah.
gave me a big kicker, which was my cousin was here from Germany, and I, who does not like to do IT things, I had a Wi-Fi router that needed to be connected. I'm scared of Wi-Fi routers. I'm scared of IT things because I know this could get very complicated and I don't, task initiation issues. I don't even want to start it because I don't know where to start. I don't know where it's
Yeah.
going to end. I don't know if
Same.
I can handle it. This is the whole thing. I'm like, okay, not doing it. But somehow, because my cousin was here, I had this glorious idea that we can just do this real quick. It'll only take 20 minutes. Right. 5 hours later, I'm now late at work, but I can't let it go. My cousin
Mm.
long said, I would have never let it go this long. And I thought, well, it's because you're a sissy. I had this glorified idea. No, I'm sorry to say, I had this idea that, oh, if you don't finish it, then you're a sissy. This is how I
Mm.
bypassed my recognition of, hey, 5 hours on something that was not a good idea. You were late at work. Okay, what is the deal? You couldn't actually let it go. I thought, you're right. I couldn't let it go. It's the first time I noticed, oh, maybe that is a problem. I couldn't let it go. Huh. So with that in mind, and then somebody else saying to me, hey, you got this superpower about being able to hyperfocus. I'm thinking, doesn't everybody? Then I realized, okay, so
Mm.
maybe I ought to look at this. That's when I realized, okay, this whole ADHD label 100% fits. I'm talking to Logan. I'm like, okay, wow, I think this really fits. We have this. Then I actually got another, I don't trust my own diagnosis. I got myself properly diagnosed. And I
Mhm.
am like, oh, yeah, right. I had the wrong idea. I didn't really know, but it's 100% true. Now I'm looking at my life through this new lens of, oh, great. There's some things now that I can give up because they don't actually work. I just always thought I don't have enough energy. I just need to eat more sugar so I can get more stuff done and do these to-do lists. They don't work. This whole time blindness thing, which I thought, who cares? Whoa, super important. influenced everything. This, I finding out that this label applied, not that I am this thing. It didn't actually end up in me thinking, oh, something's broken. It was a massive relief and a curiosity about, okay, now what can you actually do with this? And if it's this way for me, that's why my parents were that same way. That's why my kids are this way. Who who can we actually help about it? And I'm all about removing stigma. I do not love any label making somebody a victim, whether it's ADHD, autistic, cancer, what kind of disease. If the label ends up with you being a victim or some kind of less than, I'm not a fan.
Mm.
So I had
Mhm.
this newfound mm, fighting for taking down the labels. And now I can actually talk about it because I have this label. So you can criticize all we want with me, and that's all fine. But I qualify for the label, so I feel I can participate in this label.
Mm.
It's always been my thing. It's like you can't really make a case unless you are the recipient or you are part of that particular group.
Hmm.
And that's probably some truth to it. I'm not, I can't really fight for the men in the world because I'm really not one. And so I can certainly participate, help, support, but I'm not it. Men need to learn from men certain things. And so that's
Yeah.
basically how this whole thing started out. And then I realized all the people that I've been working with, they're all ADHDers.
Yeah.
Did I know this? Did I now have a new way of helping them see some stuff? I'm like, wow, we've
Mm.
been doing some things and they just don't work for us. How cool is this now?
So, okay. So I'm just going down into our notes a little bit and I'm seeing some ways that you make it work for you now
Mhm.
that you know you have this label. Specifically, you use a playlist instead of a to-do list for your day. Do you
Yeah.
want to talk more about that?
That has been a lifesaver pivot for me. Lifesaver. The to-do list, as soon as I even say the word to-do list, I have
No, thank you.
rejection sensitivity dysphoria. I'm like,
Yeah.
go away. And I mean, I have much stronger words for it. Okay. I'm like, no, I can't even tell myself to do things. This is where it gets really kind of crazy. I make, I want to take some supplements, whatever, and I intend to make them and put them in, and I put them into this pill box. All is good. Not always, but sometimes I look at these pills and they look back at me. And I'm like, I'm not taking you. It's not happening. I'm 100% not going off on something. It is the craziest thing, but it happens. I'm like, I can't now take it because I feel an obligation, some kind of inner authority. Somebody is telling me something, even if it's the pill. There is no access to the cortical brain about this. This is not logical. It is a felt sense. I'm aware of it. And yet, so many times I just ended up not taking the pills. So what I do, playlists. As soon as I call the to-do list a playlist, ah, it was actually a little
Mhm.
tricky because I wasn't really allowed to play. Play was a luxury. So now I used to have this list that was everywhere. Everywhere I walked, I saw the list, and each time I felt like this inner, I gotta go do this. I gotta go do this. I gotta go do this. And the entire
Hmm.
day I didn't feel it. So now I got this playlist and I bought it on Amazon, a little kids thing that you can flip things and you put on by 9 o'clock in the morning the things that go on during the day. I want to do good things, whatever, whatever, and I put them on in no order. And then if it's not on there by 9 o'clock in the morning, it does not get added. Nothing gets added. You could do it the next day, but you can't do it that day. Okay, no problem. The funny thing is, 95% of the things that I think I must do right now, or I need to really buy this thing right now, I gotta have this, whatever, it's completely gone. The next day, I don't even want to do it. It has helped so much with this impulsivity business.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Mm.
But the plaything is fun. It has been fun because now it's in a random order. I'm like, oh, let's see which one I'm picking now. What am I going to do now? Oh, okay. So I'm going to do this. I'm writing a podcast script. Okay. So I'm going to do this. If I tell myself, go do a podcast, I don't want to do it. if the playlist picks it for me, not a problem. It's a funny phenomenon. I highly recommend it. It is, and I thought, I don't have time for anything. This has always been my thing. I don't have time because I had this time blindness. Now I have all this weird time, all these things that if I think about it, I don't have time. When it actually happens, plenty of time and then some. And more energy because now I'm not wasting all this energy on one foot on the gas and one foot on the brake because I'm constantly stopping, going, stopping, going, stopping, going. And that burns out a lot of energy. And you're like, oh my God, I'm just kind of exhausted from
Mm.
this stuff. Amazing. This has this whole idea of, oh, this is what's going on has absolutely changed my life.
Mhm. I
That's
love the
amazing.
rule about adding things after 9 a.m. going on tomorrow's list.
Yeah.
That is such a good strategy, even for like ADHDers who are trying to budget. That
Mm,
is 100% what they should do with every purchase, time notwithstanding.
100%. And
Yeah.
if impulsivity, which is my biggest problem,
Also, get rid of buy one click.
everything you do, if you are on it, uh, stop. Whatever you do, don't do it right away. The general rule for me is whatever I do, stop. Count 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You still want to do it? Okay. But don't
Wow.
just do it. Don't just do it. That's a thing that's helped me a lot because this impulsive business was a real problem. Still
Mhm.
is.
So just to
Yeah. Sit
understand clearly,
down.
because I want to try it out. It's just basically instead of writing to-do list, you write a playlist and you basically shuffle it and see which one you to do first.
You want me to show you a little gizmo that I have? I can
Yeah.
go
Yes.
get it. I'll give it. Hold
Yes.
on.
I
So
love
it's a
that.
long thing. Get an Amazon in the kids section. All right. Then you can write on here, and then you put a playlist random, and then you're like, okay, click, and it's like, oh, cool. I got a star. Cool deal. And it
Yeah.
just and then you
It's
do a new one
tactile.
every day. Yeah, tactile, and it's you can actually really touch. And what I needed to not have, which is what became sort of a curse for me, was I had these things posted on my fridge. Terrible. It became like this massive sword. You must do this every time I walk by there. I see this thing. That I thought was such a good idea for 65 years. Was not a good idea for me at all. It really, like, really checked in with myself. It didn't feel good at all. But I hadn't
Mhm.
noticed it. I had not noticed it. This is the kind of the thing about it. It's like, wow, you don't know what you don't know until you notice it, which is back to you got to be able to be where you are. Well, I wasn't.
And accept it, because we're not always allowed to accept or admit that this thing isn't working for me.
Yeah.
Correct. But and in the end, maybe what I would offer on that one is to just say, you don't need anybody else's permission, right? Because it is your life and you're living it. Nobody else is living it. Nobody else will live it. Nobody else's job is it to live it. And it's nobody else's right to live it, right?
Yeah.
So at that point, I thought, okay. And what is the best thing? Why am I even trying to live somebody else's life? I'm trying to be a better mother, a better whatever it is, right? Well,
Mm.
best thing I can be is if I'm actually authentically here with whatever it is, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Yeah, sometimes I look really stupid. Whatever. It is that, but that is if I'm free, then you can be free.
Yeah.
We're not enmeshed, we're not entangled. That's the thing. So if I do my work, other people don't have to do my work for me. And that's
Yeah.
really at the end of the day where I'm always coming from. It's like, okay, I want my kids, others to have their own freedom and not pay my debts for me.
Mm. I like that. And I like that.
I love that.
Um, yeah, keep going, Sarah. Yeah.
I was just gonna relate, I guess I have a different experience. My parents aren't German, but we do hold, our own generational traumas. And so I really, um, that's what I'm taking from your last statement is that we all have like the chance to set the slate clean for our kids.
Mm.
100%. That's the thing. The beauty is not that we sit here and thinking, oh my God, we're eternally screwed. It's just a thing that I thought for a while because I thought, okay, we'll never get out of this terrible history that the Germans hold with the Holocaust. It's not, and yet it's like, okay, this is not actually true, which doesn't mean not to acknowledge and feel for and have empathy for what is, but it doesn't mean we have to continue to carry a debt for something from the past. Because when we do this, we, what I call, kick the can down the road and it will never end. I mean, we see this in the world, right? I mean, there are wars going on in countries. They don't even know why they're fighting. It's just been going on so long that if you ask them, why are you fighting? They're like, well, can't really tell you, but our parents did and their parents did. And I'm thinking, okay, would you like to end this? How can you be at peace?
Is
Or
that an
there,
option? Yeah.
well, there actually is, but it starts with you, right?
Yeah.
It starts with you. And when you kind of look at family systems from the perspective of ADHD or ADHD, like there's certain our brains are probably more in the hunter perspective that might be more interested in particular aggressive perpetrator energies because the brain goes that way, because that was needed. You do need somebody who's out there saying, hey, let me look at all these things. Something might be coming here. We need to be careful about it. And it's a needed thing. And then somebody who's is basically doing some other kind of work and is more like, okay, the farmer thing, which is kind of like, okay, we need to be doing these. Both are needed. Both are needed. But what happens
Mhm.
is one feels like, okay, these guys have an advantage or disadvantage, whatever. They take them out, they label them, they make them feel less than, they kill them. There are way fewer of those than the others because of this mass effect. But there's no right or wrong
The
or right.
cycles of cultural collapse almost is like what you're
That's right.
talking about.
Exactly. So, but
I was
it
just
just
reading about that this morning too.
yeah, that's the thing. It just keeps going, right? The perpetrator becomes the victim becomes the perpetrator, and just keeps going on and on and on
Mhm.
and on until
Mhm.
somebody says, "Hey, this ends here."
Mhm. Mhm.
We wanted to talk about
I don't even know
generational
what the next
trauma,
topic is. I forgot. Um,
but we already did
yeah.
that seamlessly, and I
Amazing.
love that. Yeah,
That's
tell me,
great.
Sarah.
I'm sure it'll come back to me. I've been thinking a
Okay.
lot about like the parallels that I'm seeing here in America. Um, Obviously there's like multiple things happening, but like sort of what you were just saying reminded me of how nobody's asking white people to apologize for slavery. We're just trying to fix the systemic injustices that are still baked into our system and like acknowledge them. That's it.
100%. I really totally agree. It's not just this particular thing. I mean, this phenomenon of not taking responsibility, and again, going back to the
Oh.
things like
And then the
economic,
parent and child relationship, again, it's like
yeah,
when you have a parent who was abused by their parent, they want, like, then they want to be selfish because they never got to be selfish. But then at some point, like, the parent needs to be the bigger person and stop being selfish.
100%. This is
I don't know. That's
that's
my story. Nobody come at me.
no, 100% true. I fully agree. That dynamic that it keeps flipping is not just in countries, it's within families, the parents, when the children, and that kind of, and that's the kind of work that I love to do in family constellation work when it's like when things are out of order, like when the children become the parents, it's in the wrong order.
Yeah.
And that creates dynamics that are not helpful to anyone in the system. And then the children have to pay for this.
Yeah.
My mom is the most sensitive person I know. I love my mom, but she is embarrassing. And so maybe I associate sensitivity with embarrassment and vulnerability and the potential to be ostracized.
Mhm.
Mm.
Sorry, that just like hit me really hard.
Yeah,
No,
that
thank you
makes
for saying
perfect
that.
sense.
Okay. So we talked about a lot of topics here, and I love this. This is going to be a great episode. Do you want to talk about grounding strategies, Sarah? What do you think?
I am way ahead of you. You can see me doing my butterfly hug.
Yeah. This is something we ask all our guests. What helps you feel grounded and safe when things start to feel chaotic? What are your grounding exercises?
Mine, the
Mm-hmm.
first thing is to recognize,
Mm.
and then I say, stop. The stop kind of changes it for me. And then I really use my feet and I ground myself on the floor. So I sit here
Oh,
and I just kind of rub my feet against the floor and I am so
It's a
grounded.
great
I am
one.
really pulled down in and I can feel it now. I can feel my lower body feel. And then I do my sensing listening technique, which is okay, energy. I feel the energy go up the one leg, go up the way, all the way up, go up down here and go back down. And I'm grounded.
wow.
That helps
I
me.
love
Now,
that.
I
Tactile.
also
Yeah.
play with my hair. Yeah, but that is a very that's a from a I took this from the bioenergetics training I took, but it's a very, very good grounding technique and literally grounds you.
Yes. I
Yes.
love when it's warm enough for me to put my feet in the grass or in the dirt or whatever.
Perfect.
But in the wintertime, a carpet will suffice.
And the thing is
I
you
love
can
that.
do this actually everywhere, anywhere, even with shoes on, right? It's you can't because sometimes this head hits you and you're like, okay, wait a minute, notice,
Oh
stop.
no, it's happening again.
Well, yes. And then, and if nothing else, sometimes I just go like this.
Finger
Feel the
tracing is
skin.
one of my favorites.
Feel the skin.
Yeah.
Start naming things. If it gets really crazy, you're like, okay, what I see? Use my voice. See something. Sometimes I go,
Yeah.
Yes, I love that one.
yeah. And that was actually very difficult for me because I couldn't really, it's like, oh, that's difficult.
That's too silly.
Well, yeah, so you get to observe all your judgment about you look like a complete idiot. Oh yeah, look at that idiot.
Yeah.
It opens up the field, right? You all of a sudden you're like, okay, who cares? What you think of me
Yeah.
is actually none of my business, right? I look idiot. Go bring it. And then all of a
Yeah.
sudden I'm like, okay, I'm good.
It's amazing. I love how
Thank you for sharing.
versatile your techniques are and reminded me of the basics there that I need to go to because, feeling grounded is really important.
Right, and
Before we
basics
go
are
in,
so important, right? But it's
yeah.
basics. You don't have to do all this. What I always kind of say, oh, that's not very sophisticated. I ought to get an app for this. Like, no, 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 no,
Yeah.
no app.
It's
Forget
very
the
simple.
app. Nothing on the phone. No.
Keep it simple, stupid. That's what my
Yes.
teachers used to say when I was in writing class.
Right.
um, I think
That was
this is a
probably
great
not
way
super kind,
to,
actually.
yeah, yeah.
I don't know.
but the but
Whatever.
the but the but the idea behind it is keeping it simple. I want to end it with right now. What feels like the most meaningful or most alive you are in your work right now?
I love having these conversations. I love using my voice.
Yeah.
I love talking about this stuff. I like engaging with people about all these things. I like taking down stigmas by putting them out there, putting them in like, okay, your stigma is not my stigma. There are no stigmas, whatever. Let's have a conversation here. That's it.
Mm.
As soon as I'm like, podcasts like this, interviews like this, I love it. I
Mm-hmm.
feel energized. I'm like, okay, I love freedom and I love the truth. And that is my
Yeah.
thing.
I love it, and I think there's something with neurodivergence and connectivity. We love connecting with people, in our own terms, in our own way, but it definitely fuels us. Um, Sarah, do you wanna do the reflective random question or
100%. But first, I want to ask Sabine to tell everyone where they can find her on the internet.
Okay. I have
Like if people want to invite you to have more of these engaging conversations, or if they want to learn more about your life coaching business, those sorts of things.
wonderful. I have a website, and it is my name, www.sabine, Sabine dash O'Laughlin, Olaughlin. That's it, Sabine O'Laughlin. On my website, there's all the information about how you can read my book, find more, how to work with me, my podcasts, other things that I do. It's basically that's the best way to find me.
excellent. That's
That's
excellent.
awesome.
Amazing.
I
So
know.
this
I
is
didn't
something we
even ask
do
you to plug your book or your podcast. Um, that's okay. You can if you want.
we do this thing with every guest as well, where we have a deck of cards and we just pull up a card and it
Oh, I
has a
love
random
it.
question.
Oh, I love
Yeah.
it. I love it.
Oh,
So
let
let's
me
see what
just do a
question you
little
get.
shuffle of these.
Ooh,
Oh, I love this question for you. Okay, what? Sorry.
I'm glad you're excited. I'm
What is
scared.
a word? What is a word that you love, but most people don't know or use? And I love this for
Autopsy.
you because you're German.
Autopsy. I love the word autopsy.
Yeah. As a
Why?
pathologist, yeah.
It's like taking things apart and really finding out with curiosity. I love it. And it's not just carving down the dead. It's like, okay, autopsy is like really getting into this and finding out and being curious. Yep.
That is
I love
so
that.
morbid.
I know it's
Yeah.
morbid. I love morbid.
Me too. I have definitely a dark humor thing.
Mhm.
As does my husband. That's one of the things that connected us.
Yeah, I
He
mean,
he always knew he was autistic.
good stuff. I tell you, to kind of know more about ourselves is the
Mm,
greatest gift. Right, that's it.
it is.
And an autopsy is one way of looking at things. And it has sort of a bad rap of like, oh, there's this person with a knife and they're carving up.
Well, it's too late.
It's never too late. This is it. I actually have a podcast that's called Ancestral Autopsy, where I talk about family constellation and the field and all these things because it's an examination of these things. It's simply an examination of a
Yeah,
precise nature, right? That's what it is. It's a
Beautiful.
precise examination. It's a beautiful thing. It's the final honor.
it's amazing.
Hmm.
I
Hint,
love
do
it. We
you
can
have
end it
an
on this
answer to
note.
that question?
Me?
Yeah.
What's a favorite word that no one else uses? Um,
Yeah.
ah, this is
Oh,
I like using the like wait, let me see. This is tricky. Well, I love using catalyst. I love chemistry a lot, and so I like to use the word catalyst in conversations a lot. I don't see a lot of people use it, but that's like
mhm.
my boring
I
answer.
so sorry. I selfishly asked this question to two bilingual people hoping that you would give me a non-English word.
Oh,
I was gonna go there,
Um
but I thought maybe not. Maybe not do
Especially as a
that.
German speaker, they have such a comprehensive vocabulary.
I
Sorry,
love.
like, sorry, your first answer wasn't good enough. No, I'm just bored
I
of
see it.
English.
Yeah, I see it. Yeah, yeah. I see. I flunked it. I flunked the test.
I'm so selfish.
So good. Yeah, in German.
I'm trying to
Oh,
think in
no,
Arabic,
that's
but it's gonna be difficult. It's gonna be difficult, yeah.
it is. It is
Why
difficult.
do you think that, Hind? Because you are an Americanized Arab. Do you not have,
Very.
like, Spanglish?
We do. We do. Uh,
So
uh, but there is one
okay.
thing that I it's not a word, it's a proverb that I like to say a lot um to show the beauty of the Arabic language. and we were taught this in school, but for some reason, not a lot of people know it. And that just shows that I had a great Arabic teacher. And the beauty of it is that all the words sound the same, but they mean something completely different. So yeah, I will say it, but I don't know if you're not gonna understand it. But it's طرقت الباب حتى كلمتني فلما كلمتني كلمتني. So this is means
Patterns.
كلمتني كلمتني. You see, that word has been said multiple times and they mean different things. The first meaning is I knocked the door until my shoulder got tired. And when my shoulder got tired, she responded. It just shows how one word can have different meanings in Arabic. And I like to use that as an
Pair,
example of how
pair,
beautiful.
and pair.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah.
Wow.
No, it's similar. It's similar. Yeah, it is. Yeah, and actually I love that I'm talking about that because I actually sent a message to my English teacher on Facebook, my Arabic teacher on Facebook. She's one of those teachers that I felt very seen by, especially as someone who's late diagnosed. I didn't know what was going on, but she showed me a lot of compassion and grace. And that was around 3 years ago. And I just checked Facebook and she replied in May this year. So, and she sent me her number. So I'm actually really excited because now I have my favorite teacher's number and I'm going
You
to
still haven't
message her.
responded?
I'm scared. I don't know what to say.
Okay, we'll have to talk about this off the air.
Yeah. But yeah, it just goes full circle. Like she taught me this and she replied to my messages, so I'm really happy about that. I'm sure everyone has that one teacher that they felt seen by, you know?
I'll give you a German thing.
Okay, thank
Okay,
you.
how do you say it in German? Du kannst die Hand nicht in die Tasche des nackten Mannes stecken. Meaning, you can't put your hand in a naked man's pocket. That's a German
I
thing.
love
Like, where
I love it.
where's the pocket of the naked man, right?
Wow.
Like,
Okay, I
that.
have a proverb. I think this is an old Polish one. Not my circus, not my monkeys. Not my problem.
Yeah, good one.
I don't know it in Polish, but you know,
Oh,
that's
that's
okay.
okay.
I think we're good. This is amazing.
Yes.
Thank you so much for chatting with us.
Well, thank you for having me. It's been very enlightening. And like I always know that when I leave a conversation, a podcast or something, and I feel elevated and lifted and good of energy, that
Yes.
that is way I can tell that this was really good in general. And for me in particular, it's like, oh yeah, I know how to walk away. And I think, oh yeah, I love that.
Thank
I'm
you.
so happy that you feel that way because I feel the
That
same way
means a
too.
lot, yeah.
And it means a lot to us. This was so engaging, and I can't wait to release this episode and people get to hear what we have to say. Thank you so much, Sabine. I hope you have a
Thank
wonderful
you.
day.
You too.
Thanks for being here. If you want to connect with the Neurodivergent Report, you can find us at ND Report Pod on Instagram, Threads, TikTok, YouTube, Blue Sky, Substack, etc.
If you're looking to support the show, the best thing you can do is subscribe and leave us a 5-star review. Please do that.
And hey, if you want to check out more about us, visit our website at ndreportpod.com. And you can also go there if you want to be a guest contributor on the show.
Until next time, be well, do good.
Bye.